Welcome everybody to this episode of RoadKill, where I take this old Barstow and I make it into the ultimate track car for the shootout coming up this month. Oh, Jesus. Alright. 4th of July special. And this is going to be a really weird episode. Because for once, I'm actually building a car that needs to be good. It doesn't need to be broken. Doesn't need to, be half-assed. Needs to be good. And I'm currently between two cars. This one, as you saw in the call-out video, which there's an extra that went up prior explaining what's changing, and I was going to use this car. And I'm still going to use it, but I'm very torn in between that thing. I want to use that car so badly. I'd throw the motor out of this car into there, put a performance block in it, and make 500 horsepower easy, throw the tires on, big brake kit, suspension, and just put a windshield in it, and I'd race it. I would do that, but I feel like that car is too unsafe to do this in. And I feel like this Rust Bucket Barstow has way more potential to be something better than a track car. But then again, I still have this idea to put this big ass off-road kit on a Barstow. And I'd do it to this thing. I'd take the motor out of this thing, put it in that, make the Rust Bucket the track car, and lift this thing. But like this thing I don't care about. But this car, it needs to stay what it looks like. It's just, it's so terrible looking. I told Sean that this thing is worse than the Regency. But it is fast. I don't know how big the motor is in it. I don't know how much horsepower it has. It already has LSD in it compared to this thing with some shitty open diff. Well, this motor was swapped into this car, so I'm not surprised. I'm surprised I haven't blown up the diff yet, actually. But The rusty car is so me. I want to do it for the shootout, but I just don't think that it's appropriate. It doesn't feel right to use the car for it. I don't know why, but it just feels like it has a bigger potential for a future episode when I get a solid idea for it. The better part of me just wants to do what I did with the junk vet, but better. Make it into some crazy off-road beast. But just, you know, keep it low to the ground. Just make it to work and, you know, barrel ass around. But this thing we're starting on today, we're going to be bringing it to a track. I'm probably not going to be doing time lapse in it because I want to keep that to myself. But I'm going to be making, you know, acceptable tunes for it. I'm also going to be, you know, doing a couple drag passes. So you're going to be seeing a lot this episode, especially a lot of building because this car needs a lot of work. And the rules for the competition that I'm doing with all the guys is roll cage is needed. This car can have a roll cage in it, so it's going to get a roll cage. I'm going to be tearing out the passenger in front, the passenger seat and the back seat. What else? It needs to have racing slicks. So this car's going to have a burner set of tires and racing slicks. I'm probably going to leave the burners on it, but it's going to be getting racing slicks for the track purposes. And other than that, the car needs to make 500 horsepower. Ooh. So in order to make 500 horsepower, well, so I know that I'm making 500 horsepower, and I've done a little bit of testing with this already, is that I'm bringing this out. So ready, because this is a 633 cubic inch motor. This motor's big. If I look at it, it's 663 cubic inches. It's making 429 horsepower and 419 pound-feet of torque. That is a lot of power for a regular old motor. And I know if I upgrade the internals and put the racing block in it and put a rev limiter on it so that I don't blow up the motor, because this motor is extremely risky right now. So this car has a lot of work that needs to be done. But the first thing that I need to do is the fuel tank. I'm putting a race fuel cell in it if I find the right one. Is that the right one? Oh god, I'm gassy. It's early in the morning for me. I figured that I should do this today because I'm bored. It's Memorial Day weekend and this is going up July 5th. There we go. Alright. That's successfully relocated. Alright. Glass. Refine. You know what? Debadge. I need as much weight reduction as I can get. This car, I don't know how much it weighs. So I don't know what's going to happen. It probably weighs enough, I'd imagine. Here's the roll cage. What color is the roll cage? It is fucking green. What the hell is turquoise? Can't make it chrome. Jet black. This is jet black. Shit. No. fuck did I do? Okay. I don't know what I did wrong there. Come on, stop lagging. I gotta clear up mods. Okay, passenger seats. Pretty sure there's no... Oh, there are racing seats. Wonder how they look. Driver seat. Driver seat race. Never saw a racing seat for the Barstow. Then again, I haven't messed with the Barstow in a long time. Okay, it's like, you know, more of a sporty type of seat. I'll leave it. And then rear roll cage reinforcement. I don't want to do that. That sounds like something that's gonna cut half of the car out. Alright, wooden steering wheel, no more. I'm actually putting a racing wheel in it. Taillights, they can stay. Tow hitch. I actually wanted to put a tow hitch on this thing, ironically. It felt appropriate, because I put tow hitches on everything. And it make everything wheelie, apparently, too. This thing won't wheelie. Hopefully. I'm not putting on line lock, black interior, orange 12. Could care less. Alright, door. Door panel. Out. I feel bad for this car. Because this wasn't a bad car until I got my hands on it. Now it's just going to become a track car. The track Barstow. Door panel. Empty. I'm leaving the mirrors. I would take the mirrors off, but I'm going to leave them. I still want to use this thing so badly. Alright, fender. I'm taking the inner fender out and leaving the bay brace. Because weight reduction. That's one of the things that is very important to me with this car, and hopefully for it to win, is that I'm pretty sure the Barstow weighs about... I'm gonna go in the 300 horse... Or not, what the fuck am I saying? It's like, you know, the 3,000 pound area. Maybe 3,500. Maybe. But... if I could get it down to like 30,000 pounds, or 3,000 pounds, yeah. I'd be set. Hood lettering, now hood. There's a lot of hoods for this thing. Leave the hood alone, because I gotta see if I'm gonna be able to throw a supercharger on this thing, because I don't know if I'm actually gonna be supercharging this thing. I think the performance, the stage 1 performance block would be the best to do, so just rip the hood lettering off. Front subframe, Jesus. Front bumper, leave it. Alright, engine. So engine management, I'm gonna put just a plain old rev limiter on it. I think I'm also putting a 6-speed in this thing. So that's probably gonna mess with it. Alright, so Stage 1 performance long block that should get me to the 500 horsepower range. Because I know from the testing that I did, I could get risky and throw a supercharger on it and possibly over-rev the car and damage the motor during the competition. So, I'm going to leave it like that. Dual exhaust, I want side pipes. Are these good enough? GT500. Come on. Give me some nice side pipes. Not ridiculous ones. Oh. Those are meaty looking, but no. Actually, there's a still. Okay. As long as it still has that motor noise, because that's the only reason why I have this car. It's because of the motor noise. Dual exhaust, interceptor, race exhaust, B. I want the pipes like on the rusty car there. They're weird looking. C. I like the look of them. Okay, they're a contender for what exhaust I use. What about D? Oh my god. Yeah, no, that sticks out too far. Sport exhaust, street exhaust. Let's try street exhaust. Maybe this will be them. Okay, street exhaust goes straight to the back of the car. Street exhaust E. Oh my god. It's a little ridiculous, because these exhausts aren't made for this car. Sport exhaust. If not, I'm just going with race exhaust D, I think it was. No, here they are. Perfect. And they're jet black on the bottom. Does this fix them? Or make them rusty? If they become rusty, I'm keeping them. I don't know. It's a bigger muffler. I'm not a fan of how big the mufflers are, but good enough. Good enough. Alright, engine management, and you know what? Just for fun, I'll put a 4-barrel on it. Let's see, how much horsepower? That is way too much horsepower. 580 horsepower, that is way too much. Oh boy. Take the 4-barrel off, which I don't think it's going to do much of a difference. $553. That is still a lot of horsepower for this poor thing. I don't know what else to do. I'm like pinched on power here. Same thing happened with Joseph. It took like 15 minutes to get a motor that got him in the range that I wanted. guess I'll go with the heavy-duty long block, and I'll throw a supercharger on it, and put a cowl hood on it, I guess. How much horsepower is this making now with the long block? 422, alright. So I can throw the supercharger on and get 530. That's probably the best plan here. There's not much left to do, only just stuff suspension-wise. Oh, I do want to put a high-performance radiator in here. This motor is obviously going to create some heat. The one thing that I want to do is a grill swap. And when I first saw this thing, when I first saw this front end on this mod, it's the last Barstow mod, last Barstow Scepter. I forget the exact name of the mod. Why is that black? Can I change the color? It's the cage. Well, that looks really bad. Is the RS version chrome? No. Okay. Just put the original grill back on. Man, I like the look of the single headlight so much. But I'm gonna go with the duals. I like the chrome better. And then also engine, I forgot to do this. 6-speed race transmission. Race 6-speed manual. It's already 20 minutes. Jesus. We're basically at the tail end of this, though. All I gotta do is suspension, which I think I'm just upgrading shocks. I'm putting the SBR brake kit on this thing and tires, and I don't really need to show the tires part, so well, I can just use these burners for now. Well, as burners for now, because these aren't the actual burners that I'm using. Alright, so front shocks. Yep, race front shocks. I don't know if it's going to lower it, though. Come on. SBR4. I get some nice big red calipers behind my wheels. And put the race pads on. Oh, I want to test drive this thing. I feel like it's going to be fun. Alright, leave the wheels. Shocks. Put the race ones on, leave the leafs alone. Alright, heavy duty rear shocks. Of course there wouldn't be any. I'd probably need to put the 3-link on. Alright, drum brakes. Swap out for the SBR4 race brakes. Wonder if it actually shows the calipers now. This is a part of the V10 mod, or basically the engine mod that adds basically V10s to every single car. Right now it does not add the calipers. That sucks. Full race, and the diff, and one other thing that I want to see about, because if I can put a wang in the trunk, I would be happy. And I'm gonna put the 308. Okay. And that trunk. Please tell me. Spoiler. I could put a mega fucking wing in this thing. Mid-level. I feel like that's good. Not it's just going to be some glitchy pile of garbage. Oh man, is there anything bigger? Race. Let's try to race one. If not, I'm going back to that one. That looks like a Mustang wing, like an old Boss. Or the 302 Boss or whatever. Whoa. I don't really like that. I'm going back to this one. See a little bit of brake caliper there. That's awesome. Okay. Test drive. 513 horsepower. Let's see how well it does burnouts. Okay, not bad. I forgot to do the hood. Basically the last thing that needs to be done is the hood. I'm just gonna do a cut hood for now. I'll do finishing touches to the car later, but just cut a hole. Perfect. Alright. Wow, the brakes really lock up. Yeah, the rear brakes really lock up. I'm probably gonna turn the bias on. well, I'm not the best driver in this game. Alright, well, I'm going to bring this thing to the drag strip and the racetrack, and we're just going to do one little practice lap just to see how it is, and one little, whatchamacallit, and one drag pass. Just to wrap it up, see how the car performs, and I'll do the tweaking and finishing touches on my own. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're now at the drag strip. I got the tires and rims that I'm going to be running at the tournament. With the big old nittos on them. Let's see how well this thing does a burnout on them. Okay, that was terrible. Well, that was actually fairly solid. I'll give this car credit. That was pretty solid. Just do that for now. How many pounds of boost does this thing make? Something that you can get behind. Alright, let's try again. Wow, this thing likes to go to the side. Almost 120 in the quarter mile. Yes, the rear blinks. The rear brakes don't lock up anymore. It's very good. Very good. This thing seems to be turning out pretty good. I'm liking it. I also like the lean that it has. Very good car so far. Alright, let's drive it over to the race course. Well, the road course. I'm not going to go on the actual track yet. I don't know. I want to be a little secretive with these videos because anybody who wants to actually compete against me now, even Joseph, he can come back and change his car. They can all watch this video now and see my performance and try to beat it. But I'm going to try to keep how fast this thing is a secret because we're all going to be running the same tires. It's just how much power you're going to be able to get away with what you want in the car. Plus, I mean, this car sounds amazing. See how well it does a lap around here. It doesn't slide. I expected this thing to be really loose with the ass end of the car, but it actually kept together very well. Fairly and very well. But yeah, there you go. This is my car. Hopefully I do well, and hopefully I don't lose. I need to bring some pride, because this is my own thing. So far, I've yet to win a single competition with RoadKill. I've only tied with Sean. So, I gotta do it. I gotta win. But, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of RoadKill. Goodbye.